Hey, we're live. Thank you so much. Another week passed. Goodness. I'm still on the maritime feel. I feel as if I want to keep revisiting the sea and beaches because I'm not going to go there in person at the moment. So, a way of keeping safe and giving yourself some time out to focus on how much joy you can have simply with paper. This week's fold is a little bit different for me actually, because all of the folds, pretty much all the folds I'm bringing you, are folds which other people have very kindly designed, created, and kindly shared. So many of them are traditional folds, and sometimes bringing along more recent ones. And wherever I can, of course, crediting and thanking the people who've created them. This week, though, I've been inspired by finding some little fossils. I don't know if you can see that. It looks so perfect. This I've been finding in some car stone, which is like some orangey sand. And I noticed in there are some beautiful fossils. And I've particularly loved these sort of cockles. They've got such strong folds, haven't they? It's very obvious. It's very strong zigzag. So I've just been inspired by nature. These things, believe it or not, just astonishing. At least 65 million years old. They're really, really old fossils and such a clear structure. So inspired by these, I've come up with a fairly simple fold. There will be others out there. I don't know whether it's different or whether it's the same. Hello, Stephen. But come up with just a simple fold to make a sort of scallop shell. It's been giving me some pleasure anyway. If you do it bigger, you can have more pleats and you can do a sort of bigger one. And I'll show a sort of a fairly simple one. But if you want to get up into bigger pleats, you can do that as well. So I'm going to show you and the sort of principle behind it. I'm going to keep chatting, if you don't mind, just for a couple of minutes, because I know quite often people takes them a few minutes to come along. What else has been happening in the world of origami? Lots of things, actually loads of things. As I think I mentioned before, I was inspired to share the traditional boat from an amazing origamist who's in Nigeria, Oluwatobi, and very inspiring to read and to see his work. And he's shared about how he's in the same way using origami to encourage joy and to encourage children, adults, health professionals at this time to relax and have fun through origami. And also amazed at how something so simple can bring so much pleasure. So it's really lovely to feel we're not alone here, that we're all going through this lockdown together at this time. And it's a challenge. And thank goodness for something like this. And I think actually it's very interactive. So we're going to do something together and just think that we really are doing that together in time. And what an amazing thing that is. I think origami is a great way of doing something very interactive with materials that are just around us and creating our own little moment of togetherness. And it's for all ages. We all get pleasure out of this. So, more people have been arriving. I was just saying that I've been inspired this week by fossils, thinking of the sea. This is seas from little fossils that I've been finding. Beautiful little cockles, at least 65 million years old. What great folding they've got. You can see very clear structure of folds. So inspired by that, just a very simple fold, which I hope you'll enjoy. I don't know whether it's, I think the ones that I've seen online for folding a shell have been a little bit more square, and I tend to think that there's a nice curve at the top. So there's an area of the paper that I don't fold, which might be the slight difference that I would do. So as usual, make sure you've got some paper. I'm always showing from just normal A4 paper, because I reckon this is stuff that everyone has at home. They'd be able to find some paper, even if it was magazine, scrap paper, you can use it for origami. I want you to be empowered and not feel that you need special paper. Although special paper can be fun, it's not necessary. And actually, I think for the shell, it's rather nice white. So if you all grab your paper and join me, depends what size shell you want to make. This would be a big one. This would be like a whole A4. I might go for half that size, actually. So here goes. Let's direct the camera down. Don't know if others will join us. We will see. So I'm going to simply, first of all, halve the piece of paper. So I'm going to make an A5 one. So fold it in half. And actually, the square that we'll make from this is the sort of classic size that we have for origami, 15 centimeters, around that. So simply folding it in half. Good strong fold means then you should be able to rip it. And again, I've been enjoying keeping things simple, no scissors, simply using your own hands and paper. That's it. Right, we're going to make a square. So if you take the corner, fold it over, take your time. That's the important thing, I think, to finding it relaxing. Go nice and slowly. Slow yourself down as well. So we're going to get rid of this rectangle. So turn it over and bring back. Thank you for joining us, Stephen. So Stephen had to go. I was trying to share this fold last weekend actually with a group of origamists. I was still a little bit rusty of how to explain, but hopefully I've got there. It was very useful to test out and share a bit. So again, if you do a little tiny nick there, you should be able to tear that off. Right, now the fun begins. I could probably bring it up. So first of all, if you think about, this is like the length of the shell, and I'm thinking I want to curve off the shell a bit. So if you just fold up the bottom, keeping it symmetrical, it is, I think the word was a judgment fold. It is kind of, it's not a perfect geometrical thing. It's up to you to decide. So around that sort of much. Don't get too worried about it. It's basically rounding off the bottom of it. The next step will be, we're going to round it off on one side, and then we use that as a bit of a template for the other side so it matches. So I'm next going to round off that area by simply folding that up a bit. Let's see. It's quite interesting doing these things upside down. Saying that, I think I'm going to have to put it down for a second. Sorry. So it was down here and I folded it up. I'm simply trying to round off that area. So just do it on the one side. And as I said, we'll use this as a template. So that was a sort of second fold. And then here at the side, if you fold that, I've ended up doing it so it's a little bit more this shape. Again, I think it gives a nicer shape. Again, it's a bit of a judgment fold, but that's nice because it means all our shells will be slightly different. So can you see what I did? That first one, rounding off, a second fold there, and then a side fold. Are you all with me? Do shout if I need to slow down. So to make it, I think making it symmetrical is important, isn't it? Especially for a shell. So if you fold it, we can see what folds we now need to do. So simply folding it over. I'm just replicating those lines now. And this one up here. If any of you are in Oxford as well, we're going to be doing a fold through our public library. Obviously it's going to be online, but that's actually going to be a first for the library. And they were so popular. It was so wonderful, so well attended. Thought it would be a shame not to do some more. So that'll be very exciting. So if you open it up, tuck those in, tuck them in at the side. Is it looking a bit like that? I hope so. So our next step is the top of the shell. Now I'm not going to make it completely square because I think that would be a shame. Instead, I'm going to pinch at the top. So if you fold it over, again, it's a bit of a judgment fold. That's all right. Well, it's going to all look a bit different. And then just a pinch. That's really just defining the middle of it. Can you see? And our next step will be defining the area where we're going to do the folding in. So from that point down to the top of that, I might at this point have to put the camera down. Gets a little bit harder in the area sometimes. So again, from that point to the middle point. Again, take your time. Enjoy the folding. Maybe a slightly awkward angle, but that's all right. So hopefully you've got one side like that. And it's again going from that point to that point. At the moment we're working on, there's an amazing designer creating a leaflet which will go, we're thinking maybe at least 20,000 are going to be printed, and they will be kind of inspiration sheets to go to hospitals and communities in Oxford, in Cambridge, in London, UCH where I work. So it's very exciting, because it's a bit hard not being able to go and see patients, and yet it's about keeping safe for both ourselves and also for patients. So just having to find ways to send out encouragement, including these films. There we go. Right, so our next step is we're going to start effectively doing a sort of fan that's radiating. So first of all, I'm going to add effectively a mountain fold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this line and bring it up to this line. So, and all the time, or just to say all the time, I'm going to try to keep these side bits and the top bit smooth, unfolded, because I think that curvaceousness is rather nice, actually. A little bit of a contrast. So can you see? So it's this line I'm matching up to the middle line. You could actually do a lot more lines than this, but I'm going to keep it simple just to show you. So adding that in, and that's actually helping to add in another mountain fold. Open it up, and then this line up to this line. That's it. To look for a second, sorry. Sometimes I can do the upside down, facing away from myself thing, and other times I can't. So taking this line here and matching it up. So bring it up, lining it up, and then adding a fold there to the middle. That's it. So hopefully, does it look like this? You could be more ambitious and do more folds in that same principle, but I'm going to keep it simple for this. So turn it around. You can see you've got these nice mountains. We need to add in the valleys now. So again, it's the sort of matching up of lines. So this line to this line. And probably the slightly awkward bit is leaving this unfolded, but I think it's what's nice about it, actually. It gives a little bit of tension in there. So if it's not very clear or it's not a great fold, you can blame me, because it's my one that I've done. Made some kind of sense to me. There we go. So just adding in each of these valleys. So again, this line to this line, making it into a valley. So it's up and down. Again, I'm afraid I've got to direct it down. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. Just try to match up lines. To be a little bit patient with this model. Don't know how you're finding it. All's very quiet today. Not many people commenting. Is that a sign for a good sign or a bad sign? I don't know. Maybe you're very busy with it. So this line to this line. So far for the marine feel, we've had a shrimp. I did enjoy the shrimp. And we've had a boat, which was lovely. Inspired by Oliver Toby's work. And it's, of course, the American. Oh, well done, Penny. So Penny, you really encouraged me, because I thought it was just a kind of a trivial thing, this, but you encouraged me to diagram it, which I'm afraid I haven't done yet, but this is the first step of figuring out what to do. It's simple, but it's given me pleasure. So as you see, I've tried to keep the sides sort of nice and smooth. I think it makes it trickier, but it's a nice little contrast, isn't it? Let's see. So my next step, I thought, was just to almost curving it round. I'm not giving it a really solid line, but sort of a top of it. But I'm keeping it a little bit curvy, actually. I'm not wanting to give a solid fold there. And I think there's just one more fold to do, really, which is keeping this as the top I'm going to take this side line up to there, so I'll add an in-between fold, and it gives it then a little bit of that kind of top of a scallop. Don't know what the phrase is there, but I am going to try to effectively. Can you see I'm pushing that down, and it's just giving a little bit more of a side. Again, words are escaping me today. So it's sort of added in those lines, and I've just gently kept that folded over and a little bit shapely. I think I'm a little bit more sculpting at this point. It's kind of bottom layer of the shell is perfect, and this bit's a little bit. But I quite liked having it a little bit round it because it's almost like a little hook, so you can hang it from things. So I hope, has that worked for you? Have you all managed to make a shell? It's at least it's a principle, isn't it, of how to make it. And as I said, you can get up to more folds if you do a bigger piece. I managed to give a bit of a clearer line there, didn't I? But it was folding that top fold downwards, and it introduces that line there. So you can go as simple or as big as you want, but I've been enjoying that one. So I hope that's worked. If you get the chance, do take a photograph of your shell, or you with it if you're very brave, or any messages. And on Twitter, Dr. Lizzie Burns. Excellent, you made it. Thanks, Stephen. And Facebook, join the fold, encouraging people to share their folds and things there. It's lovely to see what people have made. It's just encouraging a community, and the origami community really is a community of people around the world encouraging each other, and what a difference it makes. And origami's only happened because people have shared and encouraged each other. So it really is based on community as a whole culture, how it develops, and the possibilities are endless with paper. We're lucky to have it. So I'm wishing you all a very good week, and keep up the folding, and make sure you give yourself nice time to yourself, look after yourself in this time, and wishing you the very, very best. And I look forward to seeing you. I will be here next week, adding a fold each week. Not quite sure what I'm going to do, whether I'm thinking about whether I stay on the sea theme. I'm feeling like it, whether I should depart from that. I'm not sure. Any suggestions, feel free to get in touch as well. That can inspire me as well. I really enjoyed the shrimp, which was suggested by somebody else. Wondering about what to do a fish next, or shark. I'm not sure. Possibilities. And if you have any suggestions, traditional the best, but otherwise, if it's from somebody else, whether who it is who's designed it, because it can be hard to find that out as well. I'm keen, obviously, to say thank you to everybody. So best wishes. Have a good week. Take care. Bye.